fudge. They are mostly sweet but full of nuts.
Hi guys! I know I've probably mentioned before that I'm currently expecting baby number 4 and his due date is quickly approaching. I want to make sure that my family is taken care of even though I might not feel like cooking. So stay tuned, I'm going to share with you my top 5 steps for making meal planning and freezer meal planning successful. Okay, how to decide what to make. I started by asking each of my children and my husband what their favorite dinners are. And I made sure to include those in my list. So I picked 14 recipes and I plan on making each recipe twice, which will roughly give us about 4 weeks or months worth of meals. I also planned some breakfasts, as you can see. Another good way to find recipes is to go to Pinterest. Find a lot of excellent recipes and freezer meal recipes on Pinterest. When I was deciding what to make, I tried to keep in mind what I already had in the house, in the freezer, in the pantry, so that I was sure to use up what I already had first. This is a good way to make sure that food doesn't go bad and it saves money. So after I decide how many meals I'm going to make and what meals I'm going to make, the next step is to find out what I need to make them. So I go through all of my recipes and I keep a tally of how many of the ingredients I need, keeping in mind what I might already have. Then I create a shopping list. And I usually divide the items by what store I like to buy them from, depending on where I think the best deal is going to be. So after I make my shopping list, you would think the next thing to do is to go shopping, but it's not. Before I go shopping, I always make sure to clean out my fridge and freezer and pantry so that once I've made these meals, I have a place to put them. So once I've cleaned out my fridge and pantry and I have a place to store all the food, then I go shopping. I make sure that when I go to the store, I'm not just buying the ingredients for my meals, but I'm also buying the things I need to store those meals. So if I need a disposable baking pan for things like casseroles, I get those, or if I need extra Ziploc bags for freezer meals, I make sure to get those too. Once I get everything home, it's time to cook. There are 2 main ways that I like to do freezer cooking. I like to set aside an afternoon to cook as many meals as I can at once and then get them in the freezer. Now if I don't have time to cook a lot of meals all at once, another way I like to freezer cook is to just double the recipe that I'm already making for that night's dinner and freeze it. So if tomorrow I'm making taco soup, I will just make 2 of them. We'll have one that night and freeze the other. And then say the next day, if I'm going to make enchiladas, I'll make 2 pans of enchiladas. We'll have one that night and freeze the other one. And that's an easy way to slowly build up your freezer meals without taking a whole afternoon to cook them. Okay, so quickly, here are all the freezer meals I was able to get done in one day. Over here in the breakfast section, we have some French toast. Then I have some freezer burritos. I have some gluten-free banana pancakes. And then over here in the dinner section, I have 2 pans of beef enchiladas, 2 meals of Italian sausage and peppers, 2 meals of chicken fajitas, 4 meals of taco soup made with turkey because that's my favorite, and then 2 of the Hawaiian meatballs. Now, I just like to go ahead and label what these items are and the date that I made them on, but you can get as fancy as you want. I've seen some that include instructions on how to make it and what side dishes you need to make with it, but I just like to keep it simple. Just what it is and when I made it. So there you have it. Those are the 5 steps that I consider when making my meal/freezer meal plans. I hope you found this helpful. See you next time!